friends, I had no intention of doing this video today, so I am sorry if it is a little bit all over the place. However, I've planned to do this video for the last 2 Christmases and not felt ready, and it feels relevant obviously because it's Christmas and it's about Christmas time and I feel ready, so I'm just going to try it now and let's see what happens. I will start by saying that I have just tried to cut my fringe because it's growing like this and I think I may have made it worse. So if my fringe offends you in this video, I'm not sorry, I'm just letting you know why it offends you. It's been a little while since I've posted and I didn't intend to start posting again until the new year. And yes, in the new year I am going to be posting more videos, doing more poetry, gigging hopefully more, and posting about mental health as I do as much as I can, sexual violence awareness, all of that lovely stuff. There'll be more in the new year, but this video, like I said, didn't plan to do it today, but I'm going to, or at least I'm going to try. So I think the original idea for this video came up like 2 years ago, and it basically is very simple. I just wanted to talk about feeling suicidal at Christmas because it's a very real feeling that mental health issues are torturous at any time, but dealing with mental health issues at Christmas just adds this layer of pressure which is unbearable, and I think talking about it is really important. So I wanted to do this video like 2 years ago, and I just couldn't get myself into the right headspace for it. I think that shows that I was probably still struggling too much to even talk about it myself, so encouraging other people to do that was very hypocritical. And then I came back to the idea last year and I was going to do it last year, and again I literally just couldn't sit down in front of the camera and talk about it, so I obviously wasn't ready. Whereas now, literally an hour ago, I was like, I'm going to do that video. So on that note, there is obviously a very real trigger warning and content warning that comes with this video of suicide and mental health issues, wonky fringes and dogs barking, because you may hear a dog bark. There is a very loud dog that is very new next door and it keeps me awake at night. If this isn't for you, please don't put yourself through it, as always. But I will try to make this video as light as I can whilst talking about a very heavy subject. So as I said earlier, it's torturous to deal with mental health issues, suicidal thoughts and feelings at any time. But Christmas adds this whole other layer that just compounds all of that. So let's talk about it. And mental health and suicide can be very scary to talk about, but I would argue that it is far scarier to not talk about them. So first of all, if you are struggling with your mental health and you haven't yet reached out for help, let's do it right now. You can call your doctor, you can speak to someone in your life that you trust, or you can go to www.jemimahughespoet.co.uk/support, and there is a list of crisis resources on there. I'm going to talk more about kind of support over the Christmas period towards the end of this video as well, so hang on for that. But if you haven't yet reached out for help, pause this video, go and do one of those things that I just said, even if it's messaging a friend that you trust and just saying, you know what, I'm struggling, I'm not doing so hot. Do that, then put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, come back and let's talk. Cool. So my experiences of feeling suicidal at Christmas and struggling with my mental health at Christmas. I'm not going to go into mad detail, but I just want you to kind of like get the gist of the fact that I understand before I go on to trying to kind of like share ideas and stuff, because I think to know that I've experienced it first of all and I'm not just talking out my arse is probably important. I went through 3 Christmases, I think, where it was really intense suicidal, like I'm not going to survive feelings. Every thought, every action I did, everything about my life and my being was so painful and took so much energy. I can't comprehend how I'm here knowing how bad it was. But I think that's why I felt the need to do this video, because it really was that bad and I am still here. And so there's got to be something to be said for like sharing that, because there's definitely people in that situation now. It's not like I went through it and then everyone is fine. Like I went through it because it's a thing that people go through. So I got to the point where I was literally taking 1 hour at a time. That was like my motto, 1 hour at a time. And eventually like my mum caught on and she would be saying like anytime like I just couldn't cope, she would be like 1 hour at a time. What are you going to do in this next hour? That's it. like as if the rest of life didn't exist, just this 1 hour, just get through it. And it does come down to that when you're in that absolutely horrendous headspace. It does come down to that, just get through the smallest amount of time and just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. And through the Christmas days that I was feeling so poorly, so ill, so mentally ill, I would kind of go and try and spend time with family, and within minutes it would get too much. I'd be back up in my room, which is my comfort zone, and just crying floods of tears, curled up on the floor in absolute agony, in pain. And it was literally a case of, what can I do in this next minute to get me through this next minute? It really was that bad. But to be back here from that, so last year I was definitely better than that, but there was still that element of absolute fear that those thoughts and feelings were going to come up. And this year, even better again, like getting stronger again. There's definitely those intrusive thoughts that are like, remember those Christmases when you spent in this room like curled up in pain, because your brain likes to do that to you. So there's definitely intrusive thoughts there, but I'm able to talk about it this year, which must be a good step. And so I think it's important to say that this is not a cry for help in any way. Certainly me sharing my experiences is never a cry for help. I've cried, I've taken help, I'm still taking help. I guess I'm just sharing in the hope that it lends some hope to people and some help, and the hope that things can and do get better, and give some sort of insight into how to get there, because I'm no professional. I am no academic or professional expert in the field of mental health and suicide. However, I do believe that sometimes experience lends the strongest hand. So I'm going to try and do that with you guys today. Anyway, I didn't want this video to be super long or intense or miserable or me going on about myself as much as possible. I do have a habit of just like talking and talking and talking and then realising I've been talking for ages, like I'm doing now. But I did want this video to hopefully be relatable, relevant, and provide some sort of like space for you to feel seen and heard without actually physically being seen and heard, but just know that you're not alone. And if you're feeling these things that I've been talking about, you aren't on your own, and there are places you can reach out to, and that we're in this together. You're not on your own. I can't say it enough. There is something that I particularly want to say, which is suicide is not a reset button. Suicide is that big, massive red button that has do not touch printed in block capital letters. And I don't have all the answers, but I have figured out a pretty cool thing about purpose over the last few years, which I'll share with you. Purpose and fulfilling purpose, having a purpose, no matter how big or how tiny, is a massive help for mental health issues and for struggling with your mental health. So it can be, I'm talking waking up in the morning, tick if you've done it. It can be making a cup of tea in the morning, tick if you've done it. It can be cleaning your teeth, tick if you've done it. Having a purpose and fulfilling it goes a really long way to improving our mental health and our life, basically. And I know it may feel like nothing when you do these things, and maybe you're in a position where you're like, at some point in my life, I just got up and I got dressed and I got to clean my teeth and I went out and I did my job and I came home and I cooked dinner and blah, 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 and I just can't do those things now. It's okay. It's okay that you can't do those things right now. These purposes that you set for yourself need to be achievable, because the whole point of them is that you can fulfill them, and in return they will fulfill you. So whatever place you're in right now, try just setting yourself purposes, however small you think they are. If they are what your purposes need to be right now, mine were, in my toughest days, waking up, having a cup of tea, getting out of bed, getting dressed, things like that. And if you start with those things and make them achievable and then achieve them and let them help you, these small little purposes, so-called small purposes, they will start to stack up, and then they will create this platform for you to stand on to get over bigger hurdles. So Purpose is a huge thing when trying to cope with mental health issues and trying to get through a really tough time. So one thing I will leave you with today is to get through the Christmas period. Think about those purposes, whatever they are, no matter how small or big. Just focus on, right, I'm going to do this today. Make it achievable. Once you've done it, tick it off. If you want a physical list, do it. However works for you, tick it off. Feel proud of yourself for doing it, whatever it is, because you should be proud of yourself for doing it. If you weren't yesterday, if you weren't getting out of bed, and then today your purpose is I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks, great, perfect. You weren't doing it yesterday, so that's in your stack, and then you just do stack, 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 and then you can climb on it and you can get over bigger hurdles. Believe me, it works. I realise it sounds like a long road, and honestly, it will just stack up before you even know it. They may feel like nothing, but trust me, they are stacking up and they are going to hold your weight. Cool, so I'm not going to keep going on now. Just do whatever you need to do to get yourself through those moments over this festive season. You're going to get through this season like you got through every other season this year, and you're going to get through it, and you're going to keep going at the other side of it, and you're going to keep finding new ways and new things to keep trying. And things will start working. Things will work for you. You just have to keep trying all these different avenues. I'm going to put some Christmas crisis resources up on the screen after I finish this video, so if you need something specifically over this festive season, there should be some options for you on the screen. If you are struggling with your mental health and you didn't do it earlier when I encouraged you to, please go and reach out, because there is help out there for you and you are worth helping. You are so important. Look after yourself and have a Christmas, whatever that may look like for you.